What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Late night crypto talk with Bitcoin Brandon here. We're going to get started in a second. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. What's happening? Hope you had a great Tuesday today. Let's see who we have here. What's going on, Lashana? Good evening, Shane. Good evening, Sean. Good evening, Ocap from Barcelona, Spain. What time is it in Spain right now? It's got to be like 2 in the morning? 3 a.m. for you? Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Rashawn. Hello, Chris. Vanita. Good evening. Jason. Gerald. Tonya. Miss Griggs. It's been a while. Mr. Williams. Jason from the UK. Mike. Good evening. Kathy Keene. We will getting started in just a second. As I always say, as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share my suggestions, and you take that information and do what you will with it. Make your own adult decision. If you follow these 4 crypto policies, you will have success in this space. Number 1, education. You need Bitcoin education. Number 2, only invest with money you can afford to lose. Number 3, always work on getting your return on investment back ASAP. And number 4, come up with a game plan. Where do you want to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now? Do not get distracted. Stay focused. And you limit your risk in this space. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. This is Bitcoin Brandon here, Late Night Crypto Talk. It's been a couple of days since I've done late night. It's always been early in the morning because we've been very busy, and I'm still very busy right now. I just picked my head up from stop working on things. We're getting prepared for our soft launch next week to do Late Night Crypto Talk, to get this one in. Plus, these articles are backing up in my folder, and I got to get these off my desk. So we're going to start off with tonight talking about the, cryptocurrency exchanges / withdrawal fees. All right, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The whole point is that we don't have to pay a whole lot of money for this technology to move our money around. So let me put this link in the chat box, and we'll go ahead and read this. So in the past week, 3 of the most popular cryptocurrency exchanges have cut Bitcoin withdrawal fees by up to half. While the average price of sending Bitcoin has been falling for weeks, these savings have yet to be passed on to the exchange customers. Now, Binance, Bitfinex, and Kraken have all reduced their fees amidst a backdrop of increased SegWit adoption and transaction batching. Bitcoin is pretty cheap to send right now. Cheaper than Ethereum in some instances. Yeah, really? That's one interesting, right? It's currently around 10 Satoshis per byte to send BTC, which works out at approximately 30 cents for a typical transaction. Many Bitcoin users only send cryptocurrency when withdrawing it from any exchange, however, to a wallet they control or to another exchange. And with cryptocurrency exchanges setting their own fees, the recent cost savings haven't filtered through to users. Up until last week, it still costs around $10 to withdraw BTC from an exchange such as Qcoin or Binance. While the former has yet to lower its fees, Binance has. It now costs 0.0005 BTC, or around $5.70 at current prices, to make a BTC withdrawal from Binance. Bitfinex, meanwhile, has slashed a third of its fees, which now stand at 0.004 BTC, with the exchange citing SegWit as the reason behind the saving. Finally, Kraken has dropped its fees to 0.0005, which is $5.70, and has cut Bitcoin Cash withdrawal to 0.0001. As a consequence, it costs around $5.70 to withdraw BTC and 13 cents to withdraw BCH, which is Bitcoin Cash. There are two reasons being attributed to the reduction in exchange fees and subsequent savings for their users: SegWit and transaction batching. After Coinbase and GDAX began rolling out SegWit support on February 23rd, adoption leapt from under 20% of total transactions to over 30%, and it has held steady around that threshold ever since. On February 28th, a Bitcoin block was mined containing a record 65% SegWit transactions. Due to the high number of Bitcoin transactions exchanges send, often simultaneously, batching has the potential to provide even greater cost reductions than SegWit. But Kathy, you only got charged 49 cents for $3,000? I remember, because I only do movements over 1,000 or more, and I think I was paying up to, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks. So it's down to 49 cents now. That's what I'm talking about. All right, while the news from Bitfinex, Kraken, and Binance is to be welcomed, the onus is now on other exchanges to follow suit. Bittrex, for example, currently charges 0.001 BTC, that's $11.50, for withdrawals. And Coinbase has yet to lower its fees, although a workaround allows customers to transfer their crypto to GDAX for free. Yeah, of course, Coinbase. I mean, we all, oh, well, if you're not educated, you don't know the good old GDAX Coinbase loop. How to avoid paying Coinbase fees. Use GDAX. Other exchanges such as Qcoin have also yet to lower their fees. Nevertheless, significant progress has been made since the start of the year, which augurs well for on-chain Bitcoin usage. That's good news. The price is starting to come down, moving our money around. All right, let's talk about the Winklevoss twins. I always like hearing what they're up to, because it's like every time they do something, it's like sticking it to Mark Zuckerberg. All right, let's see here. I'll put a link to this in the chat box. Bitcoin billionaires Winklevoss. Ethereum's like oil and Litecoin a test network. Speaking at an event hosted by the Museum of American Finance in New York on February 27, 2018, Bitcoin billionaire Tyler Winklevoss, along with his twin brother Cameron, said that he supports the long-standing and popular argument in the industry that the leading cryptocurrency is a form of digital gold. I agree with that. Bitcoin and gold are both limited in nature, but Bitcoin is better as it is more portable and secure. That's true. He continued to say that Ethereum is the oil to the protocol layer, on top of which developers can build applications. To continue this metaphor, he then described Litecoin as the test net of the Bitcoin network. Now that's something I don't know about. I want to learn something new here. Litecoin has also popularly been referred to as the silver to Bitcoin's gold in the past. Yeah, I know that. It uses the same core principles as Bitcoin and was created to be a more user-friendly version of the older currency. Litecoin is also coincidentally the same digital currency whose returns far exceeds the returns of Bitcoin in 2017. As reported by Forbes, while Bitcoin had risen a whopping 1,731% in 2017, it is dwarfed in comparison to the 7,291% price rise seen by Litecoin. That goes to say, what did I say, guys, last week? You want to be a crypto millionaire in 2017? It's not going to happen with Bitcoin. Unless you've got deep pockets and you can come, oh, I'm going to buy 20 Bitcoin today. If you got that type of money, oh, go right ahead. But it's the altcoins. I said 2017 was the year of Bitcoin. 2018 is the year of altcoin. Bitcoin might rise to 40 or 50,000 per coin. But that's going to be nothing compared to a coin that might only be worth $3 right now. And then all of a sudden by the end of the year, it's worth 900 bucks or 800 or 700. You can become altcoin millionaires if you know how to play the game right. You know what coins to invest. And people ask me all the time, hey, Brandon, what coin should I buy? Well, I can't tell you that. I'm not a licensed financial advisor yet. But I can tell you, you want to pay attention to the top 10. Pay attention to the top 10. Once you get more education, you can follow the signs and the trends to tell any of the coins in the top 100 that might be ready to pop. But you got to know what to look for. You got to be able to tell, is this a pump and dump? Or is something really about to happen that this coin's about to be listed on some major exchanges, so I better buy it now before the volume on it goes up? It's a skill set you need. That's why we have Cryptogenics. To help you get started to learning the skill set. All right, Litecoin. Perceived as test net rather than Bitcoin's silver. What does test net mean? I don't understand that one. I'm going to learn something here. Litecoin, launched by Charlie Lee on October 7, 2011, is currently the 5th largest digital currency by market capitalization. Lee believed that Litecoin could complement Bitcoin, as he had observed that Bitcoin was perfect to handle large-scale transactions but was not user-friendly for the smaller users on the network. Thus, Litecoin could provide a similar solution for the smaller and less expensive transactions. The major feature of Litecoin was that its block time was reduced to be 25% of Bitcoin, enabling faster transactions. The Winklevoss twins, who are popularly known as Bitcoin's first billionaires, refer to Litecoin as the big test network, where developers launch and test potential features before launching them on the Bitcoin blockchain. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. A test net is a blockchain network designed specifically for testing purposes, having its own coins as well, but without any value. Such an environment enables developers to test and experiment any new feature without risking messing up the main blockchain. The Rinkeby testnet, similarly, is the testnet for Ethereum, developers who wish to build smart contracts on that network. As reported by a renowned blockchain news portal on February 20th, 2018, Litecoin hit a high of $251.90 on Coinbase GDAX exchange as investors rushed to buy it in anticipation of receiving more cryptocurrency from the Litecoin Cash hard fork. I was so busy, I didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the Litecoin Cash fork that took place. That won't happen in the future. I should be able to have a little bit more time to focus on that stuff. Founder Charlie Lee has also asserted that Litecoin will exceed Bitcoin Cash regarding market capitalization by the end of 2018. That is a huge statement right there. The Charlie Lee, he's the founder of Litecoin, so he might be a little biased now. But he said it will exceed Bitcoin Cash. All right, let me go to the market right now. And I want to do my own projections here. CoinMarketCap.com. And if you're not familiar with that site, it is a must. If you are not a trader, a day trader, you don't know how to read Poloniex and Binance and Bittrex, then CoinMarketCap is the site for you. It's got everything there broken down for you. All right, so we've got Bitcoin is currently at 10,800. Oh, it dropped below 11,000. But total market cap still above 440 billion. Let's see. All right, Bitcoin Cash is number 4 at 20 billion. And Litecoin is at number 5 at almost 11 billion. So if this guy, the founder of Litecoin, if what he says is true, he expects Litecoin's value to double by the end of this year. Double. So it might be something you might want to put some money into. I don't know. Do your own research on that. But I'm just saying, Bitcoin ain't going to be what I might predict. The coin that has the biggest growth this year out of the top 10, because I can't say the top 100, because one of these coins is only worth a fraction of a penny, might come out and be worth $20 by the end of the year and blow everybody away. But when I look at the top 10, it's probably Cardano. Cardano. Just my own personal. And then probably next to that, Neo. And then Monero. And why do I say Monero? And even EOS? Because as more regulation comes down on Bitcoin, and the IRS and the government wants to KYC, know your customer laws all over the place. They want to know your info. People are going to move from Bitcoin to Monero to do all their transactions because it's more anonymous. So in that way, I might want to put some money in Monero. Kathy bought another 200,000 ULA. How much did the ULA coins cost, Kathy? You just bought 200,000 of them. Are they even on the top 10? I mean, top 100? I don't remember seeing that one anywhere. All right, so let's get back to 4 cents. There you go. So imagine that sucker's worth, oh, it's an ICO. Imagine that sucker gets to 15 bucks a coin, $20 a coin, and you've got 200,000 of them times 15, and you bought them at 4 cents. That's how you play the game. All right. The Winklevoss twins are co-founders of Gemini, a digital cryptocurrency exchange that started in 2015 with operations in Canada and UK. Kathy, in about 2-3 months, when you're about to make a move like that, you make sure you hit me up. Let me know. I can get 100,000 or something myself. All right. The Winklevoss, co-owners of Gemini, a digital cryptocurrency exchange that started in 2015 with operations in Canada and UK. Gemini currently supports trading of Bitcoin and Ether across its platform. When an audience member asked if the brothers would be willing to add Bitcoin Cash to the exchange, they neither confirmed nor denied it, but replied rather negatively. Speaking about ICOs, Tyler Winklevoss said ICOs are tokens on top of tokens, calling them an effort to crowdfund equity and that the true value lies in Ether itself. All right, that's a good article. Let's get to this one here. No, the Senate. Oh, this was important. Who sent this to me? I think it was Brad Thiede sent this one to me. This is very important. You got to pay attention to. Senate bill to force citizens to register cash not in a bank, and violators get 10 years in prison. All right, I have not read this article yet, but for the senators to bring this to the floor seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot. How many of these fat cats got bank accounts all around the world? Places where they're hiding their money. Not to mention that they were put in office by lobbyists who also are very good at avoiding taxes and hiding their money. So why in the world would the people that they put in office be putting down a bill to say, hey, if you don't register your cash that's not in the bank, you can get 10 years in prison? What is the real agenda behind this? Why, it's like a voter voting against their own needs. All right, let's read. Oh, I gotta put this article in the chat box. All right, let's tell you what does this have to say. And this was on thefreethoughtproject.com. A new bill seeks to track your money and assets incessantly, will enjoin any business with government ties to act as a de facto arm of DHS, and would steal all of your assets, including Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, should you fail to report funds when traveling with over $10,000. What was that mix? You don't travel with 10,000 Bitcoins on your body. Come on now. Is this their way of getting around that rule? Should you fail to report funds when traveling with over $10,000? That means everywhere I go, if I got $10,000 more in Bitcoin in a wallet somewhere, what are you saying? If I go from one country to another, I got to report, oh, I've got more than $10,000 in a Bitcoin wallet somewhere. I'm technically not traveling with the money on me. Oh, they're playing some semantics here, but let me read. Keep reading. Under the guise of combating money laundering, Senate Bill 1241, calling it Combating Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing, and Counterfeiting Act of 2017, ramps up regulation of digital currency and other autocratic financial controls in an attempt to ensure none of your assets can escape one of the state's most nefarious, despised powers, civil asset forfeiture. I am not too familiar with that. I'm going to have to do some research. The civil asset forfeiture. What does that mean? All of this under the farcically broad umbrella of fighting terrorism. Of course, that's what they use. Civil forfeiture grants the government robbery writ large. Your cash, property, and assets can be stolen completely. Sans due process, your guilt, frequently pertaining to drug crimes, matters not. So let me break this down in layman's terms that I understand so far. There's currently a rule where you cannot travel around the world with more than $10,000 cash. Right? That's already a rule. Those of you that have debit and credit cards, which means you're using Visa, you're using MasterCard, that's kind of already declared because you got it in a bank account somewhere. You're not using funny money. There's no monopoly money. What they're afraid of is saying that you can travel and cross borders and you might have access to $100,000, $200,000 in crypto. That you technically don't have the cash on hand, but the fact that you cross borders means you can still spend that amount of money in a different country. That's not reported on. So they're using the whole idea of criminal, ISIS moving money around, illegal activity. And they're going to use the crime as a means of making you declare your crypto assets. And this is a trap as well. Because they're going to check, wait a minute. You didn't report this amount of Bitcoin in taxes last year. Where all of a sudden that come from? It's a trap that they're putting together here. You see that? It's a trap. And then I guess this law here called let me go back to it. What is it called? Senate Bill 1241, civil asset forfeiture, that they can take your money. All right, let me continue reading. A court verdict of not guilty doesn't even guarantee the return of state theft property, which means they can freeze and take your assets And even if you're found not guilty, doesn't mean they're going to give it to you back. In fact, the government can seize virtually whatever it wants if it so much as suspects some of your assets might have been acquired through or used in the commission of even lesser crimes. All right, so this is what they're going to do. We think that your Bitcoin was used to buy drugs, or that you funneled money into a terrorist organization willingly or unsuspectingly. It doesn't matter. Because of that, we're going to freeze all your assets so that this can't happen again. And now they just take your money. For some time, a war on cash has been brewing behind the closed doors of government, and although officials prefer to claim counterfeiting, terrorism, and money laundering as the impetus for asset tracking, in actuality, physical currency facilitates black market and untaxed transactions, and most imperatively to the U.S., cannot be theft under civil asset forfeiture laws as easily as money exchanged digitally. Yeah, because if it's digitally, all they have to do is swipe some numbers on a screen and your money's gone. Characterized as an effort to improve the prohibitions on money laundering and for other purposes, the bill severely curtails the right to travel freely without undue hindrance, as travelers with more than $10,000 in assets. Pay close attention to this. I'm going to read this slowly here because this got me nervous, since I'm going to be traveling a whole lot. Characterized as an effort to improve the prohibitions on money laundering and for other purposes, the bill severely curtails the right to travel freely without undue hindrance, as travelers with more than $10,000 in assets, including those held digitally like Bitcoin, must file a report with the U.S. government. So in other words, you're planning to go to France on vacation, and somehow you did not report you made any Bitcoin earnings or in taxes the last couple of years. But in actuality, you might be sitting on $200,000 worth in Bitcoin in a wallet. That's considered an asset. And the moment you travel to another country, you're automatically breaking the law. You guys understand what this means? Just by getting on a plane and stepping foot on another land, you are breaking the law as if you were traveling with more than $10,000 cash on your body. This is the trap. Now, they may not know it at the time, but if they ever discover that you do have assets more than $10,000 and you did travel to another country and you did not report those assets on your last tax filings, you may face 10 years in jail. This is dead serious. Got my attention. I'm going to freaking London and Sweden next month. All right. Non-compliance with the tyrannical law, including failing to fill out the aforementioned form. What form? Is there going to be a form when we got to travel overseas now? Would incur penalties benefiting a fascist dictatorship. An individual could find the entirety of their assets seized, not just those unreported, and could be locked in a prison cage for up to 10 years. To be clear, the state wants to write a permission slip to seize all of your assets, bank accounts, including specifically safety deposit boxes. What? That's where you're going to have all your, your cold storage devices, right? You might think twice about putting in your safety deposit box. It can be seized. Prepaid cards, gift cards, prepaid phones, prepaid coupons, cryptocurrencies, all of it. Even for being remiss in reporting what you're traveling with. So, if you're looking at it like you're saying, Henicia, customs. When I go through customs and they have declaration, on that form, am I supposed to declare, oh, wow, I don't know, I got $500,000 in Bitcoin assets? I'm supposed to put that down there? Because really, they want to know, how much you plan on spending when you go overseas. There's a reason why you can't travel with more than $10,000 on your body. cashless society, you just eliminate that whole process, that whole step. So they got to figure out another way to enforce that step. Wow, I'm not done yet. Considering one's digital assets veritably follow wherever that travel takes them, a cryptocurrency portfolio would theoretically have to be reported each time that person travels outside the confines of the U.S. You got to be kidding me. Get the hell out of here with that. Of course, the legislator in actuality just amends laws pertaining to assets and travel already considered dictatorial. Right now, failure to fill out the form carries not just the penalty of seizure, but a sentence of up to 5 years behind bars. And if that weren't enough, this bill also gives them with new authority to engage in surveillance and wiretapping, including phone, email, etc., if they have even a hint of suspicion that you might be transporting excess monetary instruments. It says usually wiretapping authority is reserved for major crimes like kidnapping, human trafficking, felony fraud, etc. Now you can add cash to the list. But it wouldn't just be the government hawkishly surveying your every transaction, as essentially all retailers would be roped in becoming state spies. Any business selling gift or prepaid cards would be required to report those too. See, here's another word, guys. In the United States, the exchanges. The government's going to crack down on them in a way that's going to force them to report any trades or transactions over a certain amount. And all of a sudden, you're going to start getting 1099s from your exchange because they had to report that to the IRS. And then it's forcing you to have to report that you made so much money or is trading with so much on any given exchange. That's already in the works. So, and according to the legislation, the Secretary of Homeland Security and the Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection must, within 18 months of the legislation's passage, devise a border protection strategy to interdict and detect prepaid access devices, digital currencies, or other similar instruments at border crossings and other ports of entry for the United States, including an assessment of infrastructure needed, emphasis added to carry out the strategy. The obligation to declare amounts in any form over $10,000 exists, irrespective of whether custom officials have a way of detecting such holdings. Since digital currencies technically travel with the holder, wherever the holder goes, one would have to declare one's entire crypto portfolio each time the holder entered the U.S. Travelers possessing assets, precious metals, and accounts in excess of $10,000 held outside the United States, however, would not be required to declare those to the government, perhaps leaving an albeit sketchy option for those wary of unscrupulous authorities. While the government insists, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. Oh, really? The Combating Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing, and Counterfeiting Act of 2017 proves you might not be able to hide anything from its greedy clutches. And if you try, you could wind up thrown in a cage for a decade, penniless upon release. Welcome to America, where your assets are literally the government's business and freedom is anything but free. That is a serious article. I mean, do I want the government to know I have a couple $1 million in crypto assets? Do I really want the government to know that? Well, if you pay your taxes, then you got nothing to worry about. Yeah, but it's my business. I pay my taxes. The government doesn't need to know how much money I have. See, we got to keep a close eye on this. So since you've been exposed, know that it is Senate Bill 1241. And there's a link. Let me pull this up. Oh, wow. Oh, I've looked at this before. Why did I open this one up before? Senate Bill 1241, 115th Congress, 2017 and 2018. This was drafted in May 25th last year. So this was before I even really got into the crypto game. May 25th. I was just getting started in crypto. And the government is already trying to figure out a way. Yeah, you want to keep an eye on this right here. This Senate bill. It's not being reported on any of the big news. This is on the freaking Free Thought Project. And this is an old article. This article came out June 17, 2017. Interesting. All right. We're coming up on almost an hour, and I still have a number of articles. I might do one more because I got to get these deleted so I can get back to work. If you guys learned anything new, give me a like or a love, heart shape. Let me know you're learning something new. I learn something new every time I start reading this kind of stuff. That's why I do it. So let's see other articles I had here. Oh, yeah, I want to cover this one. Brazilian pastor. A Brazilian pastor stages kidnapping attempt to get 3 Bitcoin from family members. What? It's one thing that you're going to fake your own kidnapping. It's another that you're faking your own kidnapping to extort money from your family. And then it's even worse that you're a minister, a preacher, doing it. So yeah, I want to read this one right now because I don't want this one sitting on my desk. It's kind of funny. All right. Brazilian pastor stages own kidnapping in an attempt to get 3 Bitcoin from family members. Now, 3 Bitcoin ain't that. I mean, that's 30 grand. Okay, well, you know, in Brazil, that's probably a hell of a lot of money. 30 grand. From your own family? The crypto craze has proved yet again as a respecter of no man, as a Christian cleric has faked his kidnap, demanding a 3 Bitcoin ransom from his family. Unfortunately for the greedy pastor, his family couldn't just end their hold to fund his release. As per Gospel Jurel Alexandre Geraldo dos Anjos, a 34-year-old evangelist at Assembleia de Deus Missão Assembly of God Mission in São José dos Campos, Brazil, has been bitten by the crypto bug. The Holy One decided to yield to the temptation of Satan. Who's this author? He's coming up with a whole bunch of adjectives here. Agu Emmanuel. Okay, yeah, he's pretty good. The Holy One is what he called him. Let's see here. Decided to yield to the temptation of Satan by orchestrating his kidnap for some worldly Bitcoin on Monday, February 26th. Dos Anjos disappeared last Monday after hanging out with a fellow pastor in the Vista Verde area in eastern Brazil. One of his friends contacted his family and informed them that the evangelist had been kidnapped and that his abductors were asking for a whopping 3 Bitcoin, over $34,000 for his safe release. The family of the cleric refused. Oh man, can you imagine that? Hey, sorry man, yeah, you might be my cousin, but I ain't dropping this Bitcoin, dog. You know, you on your own on that one. The family of the cleric refused to lose such massive amount of precious Bitcoin at a time when the price of Bitcoin is set to hit the moon again. They decided to call the police instead. All right, I got a big family out there. Sometimes they're listening in on here. I'm telling you now, don't call me up talking about, hey, you know, I'm in some trouble. You got to send me some Bitcoin. Ooh, no, sorry. I can't help you there, man. You know, I love you and all. I'll pray for you. I'm going to pray that God's going to bring you through this, but he ain't going to bring you through it using my Bitcoin. That's not happening. Dang, the family said, nah, we'll call the police. All right. After waiting for what seemed like an eternity for his family to send the blockchain money without any success, those Anyos had no choice but to reappear. That's stupid. He should have just said they let him go or something. According to reports, the man of God came out of hiding after 4 days and went straight to the Igorota police station to tell the story of his kidnap, not knowing that God was already waiting for him there to cast out the demon in him. While at the police station, Dos Anjos lied about escaping. All right, so he already had a plan. He lied about escaping from the kidnapper's den. However, the intelligent investigators were unconvinced by his report. So they turned him over to the San Jose General Investigations Office for further question and answer series. Just then, the pastor yielded to the pressure from investigators, and he confessed to organizing his abduction. Commenting on the matter, General Investigations Office Deputy Nymar said, "We received a complaint yesterday stating that the pastor had had lunch at a restaurant in Chicari. We went there to investigate. We took the video surveillance footage and saw that he appeared calm. When he began to tell the story of the kidnapping, it became obvious he was lying." The pastor told investigators he committed the crime because he had a large debt to pay. Shortly after his disappearance, Dos Anjos bought a new SIM card and sent an SMS to his friend notifying him of the kidnap and ransom amount. The cleric's friend, thinking it was a real abduction, promptly informed Dos Anjos' family of the incident. Investigators have said the friend was unaware of the plot. Dos Anjos has been released and is under judicial control for now, but will face criminal charges and might be jailed if found guilty. While it's no news that crypto kidnappers have infiltrated the virtual currency industry, Dos Anjos' case might have succeeded in getting into the history books as the first cleric to ever faked his kidnap for the sake of Bitcoin. If I ever disappear, I've disappeared, guys. You know, gather the Bitcoin, come bail me out somewhere. Can I request that? Or would you guys let me rot somewhere? That's interesting. Dude faked his own kidnapping to get 3 Bitcoin from family.
I relate.
That was what? You do what?
I relate.
You relate. Would you get me out? Would you get Bitcoin to get me out?
No.
No, that's my own son said no. My own son said he's not giving up his Bitcoin to get me out. He knows the value of it. All right, so that's enough for tonight. That's 4 articles. We're at the top of the hour. Tomorrow, important news came out today from Russia that I'm actually surprised with. And I wonder if this is going to stick. We'll cover tomorrow morning. But Russia drafts a law to criminalize the use of cryptocurrencies as money. At the same time, just last week, they legalized Bitcoin. There seems to be some kind of a power struggle taking place in Russia. But at the end of the day, who do you think's got the final vote and say on things? That's going to be Vladimir Putin. So this is interesting to see that there's still a fight going on over there about this. And let's see, another one is security. Oh, no, that's one of our trainings. Oops. JP Morgan Chase. Ooh, I'm going to read that one tomorrow. Bitcoin gradually disrupting the banking industry. Didn't I just read that this morning about the blockchain? How the blockchain is completely, the banking is taking that over. They say it's the future. So now you got JP Morgan Chase. That's Jamie Dimon's company. Jamie Dimon's bank. Bitcoin is gradually disrupting the banking industry. So tomorrow morning, we're going to go over JP Morgan Chase. We're going to go over Russia. And so far, those two topics until more news hits sometime tonight or tomorrow. So thank you guys for listening. I got to get back to work. This was my break time. Don't call me. Don't interrupt me. I'm in my zone. And I will see you all tomorrow morning for early morning crypto talk. Just weeks away from Cryptogenics launch. Exciting times ahead. It's like Christmas. I feel like a kid. Again, waiting for Christmas to come. Come early. All right, guys. Take care. God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.
Cryptogenics.